Welcome to Trading Nation. I'm Courtney Reagan, and today let's take a look at two surging stocks that are really leaving the rest of the market in dust. You might know them, Amazon and Netflix. Both stocks hitting an all-time high on Thursday. And get this, since the market peaked in late January, Amazon has posted 11 new highs, while Netflix has posted 6. For reference, less than a quarter of the S&P 500 has managed to recapture the high since January, and it's even less for the Dow. So let's discuss with the Trading Nation team. Joining us today, Michael Bapis is with HighTower Advisors. Craig Johnson is with Piper Jaffray. Okay, Craig, so what does all this bullish behavior from Netflix and Amazon tell you about the market? You're looking at the charts. Do you just expect it to continue to go higher from here?
Well, as market observers, we're always looking at what's working, what's not working, how many stocks are participating inside of these indexes. Very interesting to us that both Amazon and Netflix are making new highs, whereas a lot of other indexes aren't. If you take Netflix as an example, you're about 12.5% above the highs you'd seen back in January. If you look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, only about 13% of those names have made or gotten back above those January highs, and about 20% for the S&P 500. This really looks to me like very narrow market breadth. And I take a couple conclusions from this. The first conclusion could be maybe the economy's changing in such a way that these kind of old line economy names such as GE and these Boeing and Caterpillar matter less. And perhaps it's all about Amazon and it's all about Netflix. The second conclusion I would come to is that perhaps these are just names that aren't really going to be impacted by any sort of trade negotiations, trade wars, or those kind of things. But the third thing, which I want to focus on as a technician, is narrow market breadth. When we've seen this kind of narrow market breadth, it's not really a healthy sign for the overall market. We want to see a lot of companies participating and a lot of companies pushing the overall economy and market higher. That worries us to this degree. So the bottom line for me is I think we're going to still be in this kind of period of backing and filling until we see the breadth of this market really starting to widen out. So this is something I want to watch carefully in coming weeks and months, is this narrow market breadth.
Michael, when you take a look at Amazon or Netflix, but Amazon in particular, I mean, oh my gosh, look at the price of that stock. Look at the price to earnings ratio. Are you still comfortable with that? Or is this sort of just doesn't play by the rules of any other stocks? If you have the money, jump in and buy shares of Amazon and Netflix. What are you thinking about that?
Well, to your point, it does not play by the rules of traditional stock earnings and PE ratios. It's hard to buy companies trading at 250 plus times earnings that have run up so much. So, it's a give and take. The flip side to that is that Amazon, people are saying they're going to take over the world, retail, consumer, technology, everything like that, deliveries. And while they've made some great strides, it's just hard for me to own or even buy companies that are trading at that high of a PE. To me, it looks like 2000, 2001, when these companies are getting so high priced and there's such a craze around them. They've driven the markets for 2.5, 3 years. I think you got to see a pullback. I wouldn't blow out of a whole position, but I would definitely start taking gains and look to deploy the assets elsewhere, like the bank stocks, like some of the consumer stocks we've discussed, that are trading at more reasonable price to earnings ratios.
That you make a fair point here. We have the price of Amazon above $15.50 at this point. Thank you both for joining us. Really appreciate it. My thanks to you, Michael and Craig, for being with us today. And thank you all for watching Trading Nation. I'm Courtney Reagan. We'll catch you next time.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.